Hey guys, what's going on? It's Uncle Tone. How are you guys doing? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Urban Armor Gear case for the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I have previously reviewed this case for the iPhone 5, and to this day, it remains my favorite case for the iPhone 5. I was curious to check out, see what Urban Armor Gear has done with the Galaxy Note 2 in this case. They were nice enough to pass one along to me for review, so without further ado, let's get into it. You can pick this one up over on Urban Armor Gear's website for $39.99. So it is at the upper end of the price spectrum for what you would expect to pay for a case. At that price, you're going to expect this to be pretty darn awesome. And fortunately, it is. There's one little kind of nitpicky thing I don't really like about it, but we'll get more into that when we crack open the package and start the review. You can get this in two different colors. It's available in the Navigator, which is the white version I have here, as well as the Scout version, which is the exact same case as this, except all black. So there you go. Without further ado, let's go ahead, crack open the package, and check it out. Inside the package, you are, of course, going to get the case itself, as well as a few accessories included. You're going to get a screen shield, which is really nice to see, particularly at $39.95. You should get full, complete protection for $40. Unfortunately, you do. Urban Armor Gear includes a screen shield with all of their cases, which is awesome. You're also going to get a little squeegee and microfiber cloth for your screen shield install. So there you go. You're also going to get these two little cardboard paper things, and these are what give you the colors on the back. As you can see, through the back here is see-through. It's hollow, or cut out, I guess I should say. It's not hollow, it's cut out. And these are what's going to give you the colors on the back of your case. Cool beans. The only thing I don't really like about these is they're a little bit chintzy and a little bit cheap. They're made really well. It's a cardboard, kind of a rubberized on the front and just cardboard on the back. It does have a soft touch kind of feel on the back, so it's not going to scratch your phone or anything. But the way they're held in is just a little bit kind of cheapish to me. They have a little piece of tape attached to them, which you can see right down here on the bottom of my Note 2 is still stuck in there. I don't know if the camera will pick that up or not. But there are these two little notches on the side of the case right here, these little raised divots that stick up. And those are what's going to line up with the two tabs on the paper cardboard plate that gives you the color on the back of your Note 2. So it's a little bit cheapish the way they did it. It would have been nice if they had kind of integrated it more into the case rather than kind of making it almost seem like an afterthought. But once it's in there, it's fine. It stays in place just fine. Doesn't move around, nothing like that. Dirt doesn't get in around it or anything like that. It's fine once it's in there. But setting it in there for a $40 case, it just seems a little bit cheap to me. So let's go ahead, grab my Note 2 and throw it in here. The way I always do the installs, I like to go volume button side first. It's just the way I like to do it. Make sure you have this set in there. You can also use this without those if you like. I prefer to rock it with it. I kind of like the orange myself. It matches my new bike. And let's go ahead and put the volume button side in first, is the way I like to do it. And then just like a candy shell, you're simply going to go ahead and press the corners in just like so. And bingo bango done! You are installed. Cool beans. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the cutouts and ports and stuff, and then we'll get into the more, overall case itself. Taking a look at the top, you have a cutout for your headphone jack and your secondary microphone. These are rather recessed. This case is a little bit thick all the way around the edge. Mainly in the interest of drop protection. It has these reinforced corners, and then there's a little bit less here along the top and the sides and the bottom, but it is fairly thick around the edges. It doesn't add a whole lot of thickness to the Note 2 itself, but it is rather, bulky around the sides and the corners particularly, mainly in the interests of drop protection. It does have those little air pockets in the corners like the iPhone 5 version did for shock absorption, so there you go. The power button and the volume buttons work great I had no issues with those. I find the volume buttons and the power button on my Note 2 to be a little bit too easy to press most of the time, so I like the way cases kind of firm them up a little bit and make them, you know, more solid and not like I'm going to accidentally hit them. So there you go. Of course, it does provide a really nice lay on the table design, so you can feel free to go ahead and set the screen side down and not worry about it. You're good. Moving around here to the back, you have very nicely cut out, precise cutouts around your camera and your flash. Both work great. I didn't have any issues with pictures or anything like that. They both work spectacularly. That's your word for the day, spectacularly. There's a little cutout for your speaker, also works just fine. I had no issues with that. The little paper plate has moved inside the case as I was yapping and installing it. Normally it doesn't move around. I don't usually have that problem, but it moved around while I was installing it. So I'm going to go ahead and fix it, and then we'll continue with the ports on the bottom. There you go. As you can see, it's just fine now. It doesn't move around once it's in there, but it moved around while I was installing it, so there you go. Moving down here to the bottom, you have a cutout for your S Pen, which is really easy to get the S Pen in or out of. Not so easy to get it in, though, because of the bulk around here. If you're used to holding it in one hand and just slipping your S Pen in like that, you're going to have to kind of use the edge of your finger to push it back in, like so, because, you know, it's rather recessed there on the bottom, so you're going to have to make an effort to push the edge of your finger in there to get it in there. Moving down here to the main microphone and your micro USB charging port, both of which work just fine. I was not, however, able to dock this case with my Samsung universal dock. I have to remove the case to put it on my universal dock, which loses a couple points. I understand why it's thick all the way around. It's supposed to add impact protection and, you know, shock absorption for dropping and so on and so forth. So I wasn't entirely disappointed that it didn't work with my universal dock, but I was a little bit. So there you go. If I could dock this case, this would probably be my #1 case for the Note 2. It's absolutely awesome. It feels great in your hand. It feels like your device is really well protected. It feels like a great quality case. Your device is really well protected. I'm not worried about dropping my Note 2 while it's in that. I feel very secure and safe in knowing that, you know, my phone will survive a drop just fine. So there you go. That's pretty much going to do it for my review on the Urban Armor Gear case for the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Again, the iPhone 5 version is my favorite version for the iPhone 5, so if you have one, I'll put a link to my iPhone 5 review in the description box down below if you want to check that out. Awesome case. Couple little nitpicky things I didn't really like about it, but generally, overall speaking, it's a great quality case. You really can't go wrong, so there you go. Cool beans. Thanks to the very awesome people over at Urban Armor Gear for sending this over to me for review. Don't forget to smash the like button down there if you like this video. Maybe go ahead and favorite it. That definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next review. Cool beans. Rock on.